Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Emmett from Team Anvil. And today, what we're going to talk about is the run and gun event and why you need to test yourself and your skills. So, this weekend, a bunch of us went out to Wilmington, Ohio. There's this range down there. I think it's called Crawford County Farmers Sportsman's Club. I'll have to make sure I research that one real quick. But hold on, let me make sure. Crawford. Might not be Crawford County. Yeah. Bucyrus. Nah, it can't be Crawford. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyways, let me go to practice score. Yeah. Oh, Clinton County Farmers and Sportsmen's Association. And we did a 2-gun match there, essentially. It was called the CCFSA Run and Gun Sprinter Match, January. By the way, it was like snowmageddon out there. I'm talking sideways snow. It was windy, cold. It wasn't actually that cold, but it was rainy and it was legit. Anyways, so we make it out there. And if you've been kind of following Team Anvil or been around us, then you know that we have a strong relationship with Lead and Steel. And they have launched recently their LP1 Promethean LED red dot sight. So this is like kind of one of the first opportunities that we had to really go out there and test this thing like in a competitive environment and really get some like good immediate feedback from the system itself. Like, one, is it going to hold up in cold weather when we're running around banging it into stuff? Is it going to hold up with like snowflakes and sleet and all the other conditions below freezing temperatures? Up until this weekend, we really just kind of took it out to the range, like tomahawk chucked it, like you name it, we did it. But we didn't get to get like good data on all these other areas. So I personally, I can't show you, right? Because wait a minute, if it's live, I don't know what the rules are. I'll check into it. So I run on my pistol a SRO from Trijicon. Love it. Never had any complaints about it. Huge window. Definitely get to see that dot. And it just, you can't miss the dot, right? It's just a larger than life red dot sight. And evidently there's a magic button on it that if pressed will shatter the glass. I haven't found that button yet, and I'm not trying to, but it's an open emitter styled pistol red dot, meaning, somebody correct me, there's diodes. It's a diode. It shoots it forward, reflects off of glass onto the glass, or off of a mirror onto the glass of the optic, right? Which is that red dot that we all like kind of see. Well, you have closed emitters and you have open emitters. The SRO, again, just to reiterate, it's an open emitter device, meaning if for whatever reason, mud, dirt, dust, ice, snow, water, whatever, if it were to get onto that emitter, it could distort the view of that red dot. So you could go from seeing one dot to like looking through a broken pane of mirror glass or whatever. And it's like, now you have like 5 dots all over the place at the same exact time. That's what could happen with an open emitter, right? It's a possibility because it's open and things can get onto it, like lint or you name it. Any kind of debris could obscure your view of that red dot in real time. Now, we don't want that on carry optics, right? Because especially if you carry that pistol for protection, then you really don't want to have to worry about that dot ever disappearing or being obscured or any of those other things, right? I'll get to a point here that kind of bypasses that, but a closed emitter kind of takes away all of those issues, those possible circumstances where you might otherwise have an obscured view of that red dot in an open emitter sense. You don't have to worry about in a closed emitter. The only thing you got to really worry about with a closed emitter, and now we're talking like mailbox optics, right? We've all seen them, Aimpoint Acro. I think they're out with a second version, the P2. And then you have the close competitor to that is the Holosun 509T, and I believe they're on a V2 as well. So both of those are kind of clunky, square looking, or rectangular looking dots that have that emitter closed on the inside. So weather, debris, nothing can get to it. The only thing that could happen is your actual exterior glass, your panes, could potentially get like mud and stuff on it, in which case it's a really easy fix. All you got to do is wipe it across and you should be good to go. Again, no experience with those. I just wanted to kind of explain the differences here between a SRO or an open emitter weapon optic, weapon mounted optic, or a closed emitter, which I don't have again, optic. So that's the different kind of optics we have in this world. Same thing goes for weapon mounted optics, like on our rifles, right? So we have different things. You can mount open emitter optics on rifles, but for the most part, what you'll see like a closed emitter style optic, or you'll have LED or holographic. It's kind of like the two. If there's some third in there, like somebody comment below, let me know. Chat's probably blowing up. I'm not even paying attention to it, but what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good time, and let's go. Anyways, so again, you got closed and open, and on the rifle side you have and whatever, it's on the pistol side too, but mostly like LED and holographic. So the LP1, which I can't show you, or I don't know, man. I have to take it off my rifle. I'm not going to do that. But it's a closed emitter red dot optic, man, and it is LED. So for me, people that have stigmatisms, the LED doesn't like really sunburst on me at all. It's really fine and crisp and just, man, it's just perfect. My EOTech, which was a holographic sight, man, it was like looking into the face of the sun. It was like, I mean, like for real, like it was rough. But anyways, so getting back to my original opening statement, now that we're almost 10 minutes in, if you've been following the team, we have a close relationship with Lead and Steel. Lead and Steel has launched the Promethean, the LP1, which is a closed emitter, red dot LED optic. And being an EOTech dude my whole life, literally, I thought that was pretty much it, right? That's the standard. On durability, being able to like heads up, like focal plane, literally being able to view everything in the world that I need to be able to view in real time. Definitely zero parallax. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what parallax. I'm joking. I know what parallax means. I'll let somebody else in the comments answer that. I don't know what we're talking about. That Aimpoint or the Acro or the Holosun, or out of all the weapon mounted sights for like rifles. I don't know, but that's a good question. I don't know which one we're talking about, so I don't know how to answer it. But anyways, moving on. See, this is why I had the chat covered up. Get in there in the chats, man, and make it real, make it fun, and make it festive. Let's go, people. Here we go. I'm closing my side chat so I can't see it, and I'll come back to it. All right. So this Sunday, last Sunday, technically, I guess it would be last Sunday. This last Sunday, the team went down to Clinton County and went through their sprinter run and gun match. And let me just tell you, the snow was coming down sideways. It was that thick, perfect for rolling into big, massive snowballs to make snowmen type snow. It was legit. And let me just start off by saying this. The reason why I wanted to talk about my carry optic on my handgun and what I have on my rifle is so that I could draw this very different experience for everybody that's going to watch this. And again, this is my personal experience. I fully understand that the SRO is not duty rated. Okay. Having said that, I have never even heard of a site freezing over, but I experienced it this Sunday. Um, I started off the stage and I'm doing all my preliminary stuff. So, like, how a run and gun goes is once the timer, like, they're like, hey, they count you down. They're like 3, 2, 1, beep. And then you sprint over to the first stage. And once you pick up whatever piece of equipment you need to pick up, that's when the clock starts, right? So, or that's when the stage clock starts. So the clock actually starts when you leave the starting line and you head to the first stage. So I'm doing my pre-combat checks and inspections, right? Making sure my site's good to go, everything's good to go before the time starts. I have a Safari Land 6390 DO RDS holster, which means it has the red dot sight hood to protect it from debris like snow, ice, mud, dirt, whatever, you name it, gummy bears. So everything's good to go. I hit stage 1. I drag the sled down to whatever it is, the 50-meter line, or well, I think it's like 100 yards out or whatever they were doing. And I draw my pistol. I'm able to see it just fine. The red dot, bing, 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 holster, drag the sled back, pick up my rifle, and I slay it. Dink, dink, dink. I just stack them. All right. So now it's time to leave and run down to the next stage. And when I got to that stage, I promise you, I'm not making this up. Somebody can chime in here. I bet like at the most, it was like a quarter of a mile run, right? It wasn't that far. That quarter of a mile that I ran, my sight had completely frozen up. By the time I defeated my holster and presented, I was like, oh man, my sight is gone. And so the stage was you had to shoot right hand, or all the targets that were on the right side with your right hand only, and then switch over to the left side, shoot left, all the targets on the left with your left hand only. Well, I couldn't see my dot, right? And instead, I get it, for anybody that's about to chime in and just be like, oh, just go natural point of aim. I got you. I got you. Believe me, hindsight being what it is, I should have treated it as a malfunction and just went straight to natural point of aim, and I probably would have been just fine. Not me, though. That's not what I did. I was like, daggone it, man, get off my sight, you know? So I'm trying to get this snow and this ice off of my sight, and it's not changing anything for me. And then I realized it's not the actual sight itself, it's my emitter. My emitter had moisture on it, and that moisture froze. And that's exactly what happened. I could not get that moisture off of my sight. Fast forwarding a little bit. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. So essentially what happened is I switched over to natural point of aim, like right as the buzzer was going off. So there's a par time for each stage. You have 90 seconds. From the moment you show up, they start clocking you, and then you're on, man. You got 90 seconds to get that stage complete. Well, I busted time, and I only got half of the pistol targets. And then time busted on me. So I didn't even get to rifle. So I'm essentially out of the running for any kind of like good standing. Like if I was going for a place, like I'm middle of the pack maybe, but I got to run faster than most people, and then I got to outshoot everybody else on everything else across the board just to probably get like lower 1/3 ratings, which I didn't really care about. So I was there to kind of just have fun, check it out, and like see if I could get a little bit better. So anyways, I leave that stage knowing good and well that when I get to the third and final stage, I'm going to have to shoot. Like I don't have a choice. I have to shoot natural point of aim only on my pistol. And that's exactly what happened. I got up there to the third stage. I shot all natural point aim. There's like 6 targets from left to right, and you're on the far left. And I nailed them all. Ding, 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 ding. All 6 targets down. They're like, hey, go ahead and move. You have to swing back around and get the HVT, hit that guy, hit the barrels, and then finish off with rifle doing the same thing. and then you run back. Now, I'd say the run back from the last stage, so stage 3 out back to the start point, I don't know. I don't know, probably like a quarter-ish, maybe half. I don't know. It's hard to judge distance. It wasn't no half mile. I don't even think it was like a mile altogether. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, I got back to the finish line, which is the starting line, and I had completed the entire lane in, what was it, 11 minutes or 10 minutes, 11, right at 11 minutes, I think. So if you do the math, like I usually run, like if I'm just jogging, I'm usually running about a 7.5 minute mile pace. If you have 90 seconds on each stage, then you're looking at 90. So that's 3 minutes, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So 4 minutes and 30 seconds plus, about 7 to 7:30. It's like right around that 11 to 12 minute mark. So there's no way it was a mile. Anyways, so what's the moral to the story? Well, unless there's some products out there that I don't know of, which I bet there are, I don't know what you could treat your open emitter red dot sight with that would prevent it from icing up on you when you need it the most. Now, I get it. Most of us, we're not open carrying like an open emitter optic 24/7, 365, right? But if you're in like a duty sense, like let's say you're law enforcement and you're out there and you're an SRO or a Trijicon RMR or whatever, a Holosun 508T, or you name it, whatever kind of open emitter style optic you might have on your pistol, if it's being carried outside in the elements, then that's like kind of a consideration that you might want to think about moving forward is, hey, how do I ensure that that emitter stays free of debris, doesn't get iced over, so that I can go ahead and, be able to find that dot immediately when I need it. Now, again, if you've been around the team a lot, you know that we teach it and we preach it, right? For this exact reason. Natural point of aim shooting. Other people will call it point shooting. You can call it what you want to call it. I was raised to call it what it is. You're raising that weapon, that pistol, up to your natural point of aim and you're pressing out. Essentially, think of it like this, if that's a new concept to you. Take your thumb and you can put it over the back plate of your pistol, right? On the slide, there's that back part and your little notch sight is right up above that. You just take your thumb, put it over that, and then bring it back to your nose, right? So I can't demonstrate it right now. But like what we used to do is we take a paint marker, put like a circle, like a white circle on the back plate of our pistol slide. All right. And then we would just focus that dot. We would superimpose that dot on that target. So instead of having the sight lower so that we're actually getting that front sight alignment through the rear sights, now we're not focused on sight alignment. Now we're just focused on getting that white dot that's on the back plate of the pistol slide on that target. You just keep repping that thousands of times, and we've proven it out there. Like you can easily knock down targets at 25 yards easy, with natural point of aim. And that's not the showboat or anything like that. That's just saying like you want to train for situations that you might realistically have happen to you. The reality is that anything mechanical can and will break given enough time, or I guess neglect, or whatever you want to say. Give it enough and it'll quit on you at some point. So if that happens when you don't want it to happen, if you've never trained for anything beyond, hey, my equipment will work when I need it to, then you're not going to know what to do in real life if that does happen. So what we teach is like we always have redundancies, and a redundancy to having weapon mounted optics is teaching natural point of aim shooting so that if the sight goes down, you can still effectively shoot what you need to. And I'm glad for that because I was able to go through the third stage and knock down all the targets that were in front of me. And it's kind of funny because the guy that was the one of the ROs down there, I was like, I said it out loud. I was like, daggone, man, my emitter is frozen up. And he was like, oh, dude, you're done. And I just switched right then and there. I was like, nope, well, I knew on the last stage, stage 2, that this happened. So I'm not going to waste any time trying to get it fixed. I'm going natural point of aim. So when I shot all the targets down, all 6 of them, and then got to the end and then shot that last HVT target, he was like, "Holy cow, man, I can't believe you actually got them all." And I was like, "Natural point of aim, brother." And I kept running and trucking, right? But that's why we do what we do. Some people might like want you to think it's like to look sexy and stuff like that, but I'm telling you what, first time ever having to actually resort to natural point of aim shooting with a pistol. And I'm so incredibly glad that I've taken the time over the last 2 years to get real good shooting without sights, because had I not, I wouldn't have been able to like hit the targets that I needed to hit during this competition. Now you put that in some real context in real life. If I had a threat within that 25 yards or 25 meters, whatever you want to call it, in front of me charging at me and my sight goes down, that's the difference between me and being able to confidently take shots and repeat that process until the threat is no longer a threat, and not being able to and becoming a victim. All right. So let's move on past that. So the pistol, it was really good. It was great experience. I definitely got to test my equipment on the pistol side, the optic side, and that was huge. I enjoyed it. It taught me something about my red dot sight that is invaluable. And then it reinforced some things that I need to keep doing, and we need to keep teaching and preaching on the instructional side of things, which is, hey, let's keep teaching this natural point of aim because it could save lives. All right. Now let's talk about the rifle. I'm going to take a drink of water. Everybody grab a drink with me. I am not sponsored by Nalgene or by Manimal Athletics. So, there's no code for that. So let's talk rifle. So again, just reiterating, we have a good relationship with Lead and Steel, and they launched their Promethean LP1, which is a LED red dot sight, closed emitter red dot sight, into the market a few months back. I think back in October or September, I forget, but a while ago. And we've taken it to the range. We've beaten on it because they gave us one and they're like, "Hey, we want you to test that." So full transparency, they gave us one for testing and development purposes. And we said, "Hey, we'll tell you if it sucks or not, or if it's great." And so that's what we did. We beat on it. We threw it against walls. We threw gravel on it. We stepped on it. We dropped it. We literally tomahawk chucked it. We poured stuff over it, on top of it, muddied it, tried to scratch it, tried to destroy this thing, short of putting det cord around it, man. I'm telling you, like, we really got after it with this thing. And we shot the mess out of it too. I think we have like right around 5,000 rounds through our LP1s because we shoot a lot, right? You can't stay proficient and good if you don't shoot. So having said that, this is the first opportunity we really had to have competitive conditions where we know we're gonna have adverse weather conditions, and we get a chance to nail this sight like on wood or frames, and we can take legitimate shots at it and then have to use it in real time accurately and consistently and repeat that process over time. This was our first opportunity to do so, and it was I'd love to sit here and tell you that it was like so awesome. Like I was expecting it to fail and like it didn't. I expected it to do exactly what it does because of everything we've put it through, but it was satisfying at the end. So again, stage 1, everything's open. Rifle slung across your chest. It's getting nailed by snow and all this rain, sleet stuff and whatnot. And it's bouncing around on you, so it's getting beat on a little bit. I can't wait to tell the second part of this. So we got up to the 50-yard line, and it's all pistol. We head back to, I think we're now about 100 yards out, 100-ish yards out, and there's like one of those old World War II like style like I don't even know what they're called. They look like a jack, like jacks and bouncing balls and stuff like it, whatever. It looks like one of those things. It's like an angle ironed, but it was made out of wood, I think, or I know. I don't know what it's called. An anti-landing device. I don't know. But it was there, and that's where you had to take your shots at these three targets. Like there's like an 8-inch gong, and then there's two like silhouettes, like reduced C zone silhouettes out at like 100-ish yards. And I'm not going to get into how I zero my rifle. I'll just say like I've always stuck with a 25 meter zero, and I'm running a 12.5 inch arc. So we can get into that later. But for me, that works really good. And I zero my optic accordingly so that I can knock down anything in between like that close proximity range all the way out beyond that up to and include like 300 meters out, and be able to do it consistently and accurately. Well, so I kind of missed the little angle iron like anti-landing device thing, which is where we can take our shot from. And I totally racked that LP1 right on. I mean, I just crunched it. I just bow. And I bring it up expecting not to be able to see out of it because I'm like, I just broke this thing. It didn't even scratch it. My sight is right there. I'm ready to go. I rotate from safe to semi and I ding, ding, ding. Good to go. Drop your magazine, hit the HVT, put it on safe, roll. And I was like, okay, good, let's go. Get to the second stage. We already know the story there. I didn't even get to rifle. And so I run to the stage 3. I go through the pistol shooting, get to the rifle. Same deal. Weapon up, selector switch, safe to semi, fire, ding, 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 ding. Good to go. Drop my mag, fire the last round, HVT, good to go. Round all the way back up to the top to the start point, done. Moral to the story here is that I had zero, I say again, zero issues with the LP1. And I actually racked that thing so hard off of a wooden object that I was convinced I had broken it. I kid you not, I would go grab it and show it to you, but I'm afraid I'd get like banned or something. But like, it didn't even scratch it. Not only did it not scratch it, here's the deal: the snow and the ice that ruined essentially my sight picture out of my SRO, it didn't even affect the glass on the LP1. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I figured it would stick or at least like something in hindsight thinking back on it, but it didn't. It's like it just was not an issue at all. It didn't obscure my view. And there's like, you're carrying a rifle down like this, so it's collecting water. So when I went to present, that water just came off like there was an invisible wiper on that thing that was just wiping stuff off. True story, can't make it up. It exceeded my expectations. I'm going to tell you why. Because like I said earlier, I've always had an EOTech, EXPS, or EXP, and they're awesome, man. They're super durable and stuff. But I always found myself having to take like a rag or something like that and kind of plunging out like that internal part of the optic where around the glass and everything, like water and moisture would collect, especially if it was raining outside. With the LP1, I didn't have to do that. And I didn't think about it in the moment, but in hindsight, looking back, I was just like so impressed with, man, wait a minute. I didn't have to do some of the things that maybe I might have had to have done with the EOTech. And that's awesome. So the LP1, it really exceeded my expectations, honestly. I didn't sit around thinking it was going to fail. I expected it to work. I haven't questioned it thus far. I wasn't going to start that day on that competition. But what I really found out is that, and looking back on it, I was so confident because my sight picture was consistent. It was there. It is such a wide field of view looking through that sight. And again, the durability of that thing, like we've tried to break them and we haven't been able to. And I'm not saying like we've tried, like it's not like we took like a screwdriver and a hammer and was like, bow, like where you're obviously going to break it if you do that. I haven't went up 10,000 feet into an aircraft and then free dropped it to like watch it burn in either. But everything else, for the most part, I mean, other than putting like lighter fluid on it and lighting it on fire, we pretty much done everything else that you would think is reasonable. Well, even beyond reasonable. So I was really impressed. So not only is it great to have a great relationship with these people, with Ahmad and his team that built and developed this optic, but man, it's a bonus when it actually works just as good, and in some instances better and more efficiently than what you've been running your whole life. So I can confidently tell you, like right now, it may be unproven because of time. Maybe you can't come out and say it's an EOTech killer, but I'm going to tell you what, the conversation's been started now. There's some things that they are upgrading as we speak. So the pursuit to perfection is like, it's not being slowed down by these guys at Lead and Steel. Like they're eager. They want it to be the best possible site for everybody to include, and up to, special operations forces within the DoD, all the way down to like regular people that just want to go out there and have a site that they know isn't going to fail them and that they can accurately hit targets at repeatedly over a whole lot of time. 50 some thousand hours of battery runtime or something crazy like that. I don't know. But this site, look, if you're out there, if you've been on the fence and you're kind of wondering like, hey, what's the hype with this LP1, or maybe you've never heard of it, or you're like, hey, there's all these other sites out there, like why should I go buy this one? This is my experience as a guy that spent my whole adult life dedicated towards warfare, sending it nonstop over to foreign countries and fighting in different conditions. If I would have had like an LP1, I'm not going to say that would have been the difference between success and failure, but maybe sometimes I wouldn't have had to take like, a towel, or not a towel, but like my t-shirt or gloves or something like that to like scoop out water or soak it up and absorb it so that I could have a better sight picture. Because I'd be pretty confident, being able to have something like this, like the LP1, in those kind of environments, because maybe there's things you're just not going to have to do. I'm not going to have to spend time wiping off my glass or trying to get out water. You might have to wipe it off at some point. I don't know if they come with like a protectant on them or something, and that's why that stuff just like the snow and the ice just melted off of it. I don't know. Or maybe I was breathing that heavy. Look, I don't know what the answer is, but it worked flawlessly. I had no issues, and that's where I land on that. So I'm a big fan of the LP1. I really like it. I really dig it, and I feel comfortable standing behind it right now. Because like I said, the things that have kind of fallen short with it, or that not even fallen short, that just could be a little bit better, they're already actioning in on and fixing, so that the next batch that comes out will be even better than this one. So you talk about V1s and V2s and V3s and stuff like that. Like I'd rather see a company pump out 5 versions of an optic in the first year of them being in business and get it all squared away and good to go, so that anything beyond that is just technology upgrades, than a company that waits every year, every 2 years to upgrade a product or update a product to fix issues that the competitors have already fixed years ago. So it's like the iPhone thing, man. I have an iPhone. We're not sponsored by Apple either. But anywho, so it was good for equipment. Now let's talk about why you should run and gun. Take another drink of water here real quick. It's really warm in my house, probably because of winter storms coming. I don't know. I have this hat on my head. All right, let's talk about why you should go out there into the universe and seek out some of these opportunities. Like, well, first off, actually, let me kind of cover this. So in the state of Ohio, according to a guy that I know really well. His name's Lewis. He's been on this chat, I think, one of the beginning ones when we were discussing the Silent Legion project event that we put on. He is into this 2-gun stuff, and he's actually the one that invited us out to this place to go do this. Again, it was awesome. But I think he told me that there's only 2 or 3 ranges here in the state of Ohio that actually host 2-gun run and gun events. So it's starting to become more and more of a thing, whereas 3-gun used to dominate everything. It was like, hey, pistol, rifle, shotgun. And it was hard for people to like kind of sell themselves over time on, hey, what's the practicality of me running around with a shotgun, a pistol, and a rifle and, going to work with those tools. The world that I came from, if you were carrying a shotgun, it's because you were the breacher. Like that was your job in life, was to punch out holes in objects like door hinges and knobs so that you could get access into that building or room or whatever. Out here in the regular world, I mean, unless you're like shooting trap or skeet or whatever it's called, or gooses or pigeons, or I don't know what you shoot with shotguns, but I mean, there's an argument to be had everywhere, like home defense, like is it shotgun, pistol, or rifle? But the practicality of carrying around a shotgun, pistol, and a rifle at the exact same time, man, I'm telling you what, zombies got to be running around here, or it's the purge. All right. So it lost its practicality. But 2-gun is more practical for most people, that especially our military or law enforcement. I don't have a hole in my teeth. So in either way you look at it, it's just more of, there's less considerations that you have to deal with. There's less that goes into setting stages for 2-gun matches. From what I've been told, this is all what I've been told. My experience was, it was like super smooth process at this 2-gun competition. I think it's called a 2-gun competition. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm actually looking here on the actual page here on Practice Score to see like what it listed as. It just has it classified as a CCFSA run and gun sprinter match. So I've also heard that sprinter matches typically can like go all the way up to like 10K, which is like distance. I'm talking overall distance that you would have to move. So let's talk about why I think people should do this now that I've done one. In my past life, we used to do things called stress shoots. And sometimes you would run 3 miles with a rucksack on your back, get to where the shooting starts, and then you would start acquiring and engaging targets while executing tasks in between each stage, essentially. So you might have to drag a 200-pound Skedco from first point all the way over to your second point, which that could be like 100 yards or meters away, and then climb through a tube and then go through an obstacle course and engage the next target, and so on and so on and so on. These things are built to be intense and aggressive so that you can kind of test your skills and see, hey man, can I perform under pressure when I'm fatigued, when my muscles are pumping the most amount of blood they can possibly pump through them? Like, can I slow my breathing down? Can I apply the fundamentals of marksmanship to accurately engage targets? That's the whole point of them, right? And yeah, there's some bragging rights that goes into it. Like, yeah, man, I had the fastest time or the best accuracy or whatever, right? But for the most part, man, it's just pressure testing your skill set, right? Do I have what it takes to perform under pressure? Bottom line up front. That's what it's about. That's why I think people should go to these sprinters, these run and gun sprinter matches, because I'll tell you what, 2 years removed from the military, I have been challenged in a lot of different ways when it comes to proficiency with a pistol. And and whatnot, because a pistol to me is foreign, because it wasn't my primary weapon when I was in the military. I was I was rifle heavy, right? We lived and died by the rifle. Um, so being on a flat range, and even some of the running and gunning that we've done on flatter ranges, it's like over a very controlled distance, and it's not really, we haven't really pushed the needle into max heart rate and then static shooting drills for high accuracy by volume, right? Like we haven't been doing that. This was like really the first time where been able to run over distance, have a clock on you, and be tested for accuracy. And I'm all about it. Man, the people that were showing up to this were like from every walk of life you could imagine. And it was like one of the more encouraging environments I think I've been in when it comes to shooting, where everybody was really like positive, like cheering each other on and like, man, you can do it and you got it. And dudes that were gassed out running their way back up the hill to get back to the start point, which is the end point, like was just cheering people on, like, you can do it, buddy. Like, let's go, bro. Like it was on fire, and it's exactly what you would want an event to be. It was uplifting and positive, and it was highly competitive. It was super competitive, but it was a place where you could literally go and test your skill. Like, can the question that you would ask yourself going into it, can I perform under pressure? You answered that by the end of that event. And that's why I believe everybody should go to these events, because it will answer that question for you. I think sometimes we like to think we're better than we are. And sometimes, it's good to like get humbled and go through something that is going to pressure test your skills, so that you can get like a better idea of like, hey, where you're at. And for most of us, maybe it's, hey, I'm a lot better today than I was before today. And all that hard work has paid off because these are the fruits of that labor. And then there might be others of us that are like, man, this really highlighted a lot of areas that I need to work on, or maybe just one area that needs a lot of attention and focus. But either way, only positives are going to come out of it, unless you tear your ACL or something. And then I guess the positive is don't step like that in that direction at that speed. But I mean, knock on wood, nobody tears an ACL. But so I would say, like, all in all, it's definitely something that you want to get out there and get after. And look, I don't know anything about three gun. I'll never do one. I'm really not a big fan personally of the competitive shooting circuit when it comes to what is considered practical shooting, because I don't like things where it's like, if you drop your magazine, then that's a penalty, or if you drop it and then go pick it up, it's a penalty. Or I don't like how in the competitive shooting world, this is a personal thing, right? I'm not hating on anybody. I'm saying I don't think it's practical to represent yourself as a practical shooting league if you're giving competitors 5 minutes to war game how they're going to shoot that stage. That's not practical. What is practical is you show up to an unknown environment and you have a specified round, or you don't even have a specified round count. You don't know how many threats are out there, but you know that the stage starts at the sound of the buzzer and you can't see anything. And then when that buzzer pops, bing, and then you're on, you got to engage all the targets that you come across, right? That's practical to me. That's practical to most people. I get why they call it practical shooting leagues. I get it, people. Don't come after me. I think no matter what you do, if you're going out there and you're honing your skills and you're trying to get better, that's really what matters at the end of the day. So I can disagree with why it's called practical, but I won't disagree that it still helps you get better at shooting a pistol more responsibly, accurately, and all those things. So for all those reasons, I say get out there, whether it's IDPA, USAPA, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, or USCCA, I don't know, USAPA, United States, I don't know, USAPA, I'm going to send it, USAPA, IDPA, these two gun matches, whatever. Just get out there and get some interaction going on with people that are sending it on a different level. And, you know, as a prelude to all of that, I would tell you go out there and find good trainers. You know, there a lot can be said, like you can take yourself to a certain point all by yourself, right? Like YouTube is a phenomenal wealth of knowledge, or has a phenomenal wealth of knowledge and resources that like you can pull from to get better. But nothing really ever discounts somebody that has some experience or a lot of experience in these areas, to have them over your shoulder and next to you to kind of point out and expose some gaps in like your training. Be like, hey, maybe, tighten that up, or maybe like bring your elbows up a little bit. That looked like a lot, because I was like here, which is perfect. And I was like, oh, don't do that. But you know what I mean? Like, hey, maybe try and strike, the pad on your finger a little bit more consistently, so you get more of a consistent trigger press. Like, how's your sights looking? Whatever, you name it, presentation, all that stuff, right? Um, it always helps to have somebody that's highly skilled next to you to help train you. So go out there and find people to train with, train a group. Like, you can come out and shoot with Team Anvil whenever you want. Like, whenever we're shooting, you can shoot. Once the weather warms up, we usually do meet and greets, or we call it meet and shoots, right? So we'll meet up at a specified location. We charge $30 at the door, and we offer 4 hours of instruction. And each time we do this, we drill down on two specific skills at a time, right? So like if you just did the math and you showed up twice a month, because that's how many we do a month, twice a month to meet and shoots, you're going to get essentially 4 skills in a month in 8 hours. Now, if you were to do the math on that, you're going to pay $60 for that. Now, if you were to take one of our gunfighter courses, and I'm not trying to tell you to take the cheap way out here, all right? But if you were to take our pistol or rifle courses, like we're charging $200 for like 6 hours of training. Now, in that 6 hours of training, right, you're going to get a whole different level of, our attention. But I'm saying, like, if you're kind of hesitant and you're like, you just want to even just meet new people that are just kind of like you, like figuring it out, or have been there and figured it out, and, just trying to get better in a positive environment, then coming out to meet and shoots is like a good thing. So I'm obviously going to rep Team Anvil. We have really good instructors on our staff. Team Anvil consists of myself. I'm not going to say his full name for security reasons, but A. Estrada. And then we have George Kimmy. Those are our instructors on the Team Anvil side. We have other people that have been around us for a while, that are Team Anvil Nation. And we've got like a lot of wealth of experience within the whole group that you could consider Anvil Nation. So never be afraid to come out and train with us. We'd love to have you. And, it helps small businesses grow as well. So from a putting myself or our company out there standpoint, it always helps business, right? To have more clients, the better we do, the more we can offer you. So I think that pretty much covers it. I really, really did not think I was going to enjoy this Sprinter 2-gun run and gun match. Once I found out what it was really about, I was like, oh no, man, like I don't want to go do that. Like, not because I'm not in shape. Like, I work out, I stay in okay shape, other than when I'm like low-key binge addicted eating to gummy bears from Black Forest. By the way, if anybody wants to send me a birthday present, guess who will not complain if they get Black Forest gummy bears? This guy. I'll be super happy about that. But I'm in okay shape, right? Like, I don't get too gassed out too quick. But even having said that, like, this was challenging for me. It was challenging enough that I enjoyed it, because I don't really enjoy a whole lot in this life if it doesn't challenge me to be better. And that, my friends out there watching this right now, is what this is all about. Getting better. Pushing ourselves to the point where we feel that and we know, oh man, this is a challenge. This is challenging now. This is challenging my ability to do what I can do in normal conditions is challenging whether or not I can still do that right here and right now under this maybe not extreme amount of pressure, but more extreme than being on a flat range, shooting at my own pace, doing what I want to do. So for all those reasons, I would definitely recommend everybody get out there and do this. I'll tell you right now, we've already kind of talked within the team. We are definitely going to do the next one, wherever it is. If it's in the state of Ohio, we're going to send it. One of our instructors may not be there because he said he's going to have to do his hair on whatever day that is. So I'm going to kind of go through here real quick and just say what's up to everybody. Hey, Angry Sarge, what's going on, my man? We had a great conversation today. Me and Angry Sarge had a really awesome conversation on the phone today. If you're not following Angry Sarge, get on over to his channel, give him a shout out, give him a like, a follow, subscribe. Him, and I'm also going to shout out the co-host of the show that they do together. Haven't gotten a chance to talk to him, but I have watched his videos. Tactical Trash Panda, him and Angry Sarge, they do a talking trash with the Tactical Trash Panda and Angry Sarge they do it pretty regularly. I don't know what the schedule is, but go ahead and shout them out. Clint, hey, what's up, my man? Clinton County, I think. Yeah, you're right. Drunken Jiu-Jitsu, aka GHK. He is one of our Team Anvil instructors that I was telling you about. His street name is George. All right. McWhitetail Fanatic. What's going on? Michelle Jarvis. That's the wife. What's up, Michelle? She's behind everybody, taking pictures and videos and being the supportive wife that she is. Love it. Jonathan Milligan. What's up, big guy? All right. Clint. What's up, man? I asked the RO to explain the stage twice so I could breathe. Dude, that's hilarious. I should have did that. Man. The effect whereby the position. Oh, okay, we're explaining the parallax. Uh-oh. I pressed the wrong thing. Hey, you know what? I'm going to show this just because it's funny. All right. I personally don't like the holographic picture in the E attack. All right. Jay McCann, what's going on? I'm buffering a lot. That sucks. That means the storm is coming. Lewis, what's going on, my man? He said cut. All right. And we're all, hey, what's up, Vanessa Kitty? Drunken Jiu-Jitsu. All right. So I think I got everybody. If I didn't call you out, man, or give you a shout out, oh, yeah, go follow Vanessa Kitty on YouTube, Instagram, all those things. Good content there. Another thing I would just tell you, go ahead and go out there and get online on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. I'm not on Snapchat. TikTok, or all those things. Start following Lead and Steel. Man, their stuff is what's up. Oh, that's right. What's up, Mr. Chamberlain? Dude, you know the answers to all these things, and just tell them what parallax is and get it over with. They'll listen. I listen. So there's something to be said about, I'm not going to get into parallax. That's too much work to do right now. But so I shoot a Shadow Systems. I'm not sponsored by anybody that I'm talking about right now. But I carry a Shadow Systems DR920. I have a Streamlight TLR 1HL on it and dressed out with a Trijicon SRO on top. I carry it like for the competitions and for duty use. I'm running a Safari Land 6390 DO RDS holster with a QLS system attached to it on a mid-ride belt. or a mid-ride holster attachment or paddle. And I run that on a T-Rex Arms Orion inner belt that weaves through a Coyote Tactical outer belt, which is padded for your comfort. All my mag carriers are S-Tac Kiwis, super durable. If they get a little bit loose, all you got to do is take a hair dryer, warm up the Kydex on the inside, bring it together some. There you go. You can do that over and over again until it breaks, which thus far it hasn't done it in years. I've had mine for years. Running a standard T-Rex Arms like dump pouch, and I have a Cry Precision horizontal mag carrier that for my rifle mags that goes like on the small of your back on your belt. I do not run a med kit on my belt, but that's pretty much it for my belt setup. I have a leg retention band. It's just like something that came off of Blackhawk holster that I had. But for a rifle sling, I'm a big fan of the T-Rex. I'm not a T-Rex Arms fanboy, but like I'll tell you what, like they have some good products. I like I really do like their rifle sling a lot. So I run that on my rifle. And then on furniture for the rifle, it's I have the LP1 Promethean on top of a Unity riser, a fast riser. And then I have a which I didn't really have to use like during the competition, so it doesn't matter any of the other stuff that I have on it, but that's what mattered because that's what I used. So really basic setup for in a lot of ways. I like more of the heads up approach, and I'll do videos again on some of my other equipment just so that everybody knows out there in the universe. If I talk about a product, I stand behind it and I put my life on it. Thus far, anything that I've mentioned, I'd put my life on. On the SRO note, I think I think I'm kind of gonna have to really think long and hard about if I want to keep that on my pistol. I'm really thinking maybe it's time to part ways with the SRO and get a enclosed emitter. Go ahead and get either an Aimpoint Acro P2 or maybe the Holosun 509T X2. I think I might have to make the switch. But other than that, I will not be switching out my rifle optic back to an EOTech. I'm good to go now. Like I'm sold hook, line, and sinker with the LP1 from Lead and Steel. But we will be launching more videos in the future, and a lot of that is going to be personal setup, why we have things set up the way we have it set up, what we went through to get there, how to do different things with the gear that we have and whatnot. We'll be dropping our Patreon link here in the next few weeks because, as I kind of like already alluded to, a business is only a business if you're able to continue to give good content and good value. All right. So, and we can't do that for free. It takes money to be able to put content into the universe. And so we need your help. There will be different subscription levels, but that's something for everybody to look at, later on. But we're not too worried about that right now. All that stuff's coming out in the future, but look out for that. Stay tuned in. And like we said before, go ahead, get out there, get some good training. Hit us up if you want to get some training. We got a lot of big things coming up in the new year. Just want to shout out some more people. Obviously want to shout out all of our staff here at Team Anvil. You know who you are. Thank you. I'll just say it out loud. George Kimmy, Alex Estrada. Definitely couldn't do anything, as well as we do it without the two of you. Our internal supporters is our families, our wives. So Michelle Jarvis, thank you. Shauna Kimmy, thank you very much for all of your support. And Estrada's significant other, thank you very much. I don't have your permission to say your name, so I'm not going to do it. But thank you all for your internal support. To our nation of friends out there that support us and have stood by us over time and come out for all the trainings and all the impromptu meetups and the phone call conversations that we've all had. Thank you so much. Andy Chamberlain, Daniel Patterson, Luis Martinez, Fritz Massig, Jacob Wood. Like the list goes on and on and on. Adam Johnson, Matt, the refrige operator, Marcy May, Chris from the 740, She Fires. Like the list goes on. You all make this stuff worth going out here and doing it. And we do it so that we can make ourselves and the people around us just a little bit better. So again, thank you very much to Anvil Nation. Have a great night. Be safe, stay free, get training, trust your life in God.